Good morning, everybody. Who was the first one in? My goodness. Somebody was quick. How we doing today? Myself and my bread are toasted. I'm elevated and caffeinating. Today's coffee cup of the day is my unicorn cup. It says, "Back the fuck up, sprinkle tits. Today is not the day. I will shank you with my horn." We have some interesting stuff to go through today. I'm not even gonna lie. It's gonna be a whole ass day of trigger warnings. And we're gonna do a research of Trump, search of Trump to see if they unredacted any of that information. Hey, Carlos. Welcome from across the pond. What are you guys doing over there to deal with it? I heard that there was some unrest centered around the monarchy and them hiding all of this. Thank you, lovely nurse. We're just waiting for some mods to get in. Breakfast of champions, buttered toast and coffee. Actually, it's a latte. I don't know if y'all can tell. Good morning, Marcy. We have another from the UK. Bunny has gone worldwide. All right, we got Cherry in the chat. We got a mod going. We got 74 people in here. Let's see if we can get it up to 2K, and then we'll get rolling. Today, we are looking at some pretty fucked up shit. It's pretty much all I can tell you is we're looking at some incredibly effed up crap. Oh, my volume is gone. Sorry. If you've ever wondered how I get the curly curls that I get in my hair, it's because I do a tight bun right back here before I put on my satin bonnet for sleep. All right, chat, let's get it up to 2K likes and we'll get rolling on this. We have a bunch of emails. We have some pretty interesting text messages. We are going to take today to go back and look at some of the newly unredacted files. We're going to do some keyword searches. We're going to do just a whole mess of stuff. Now, what I'd really like to see happen is I'd really like to see them put all of the stuff back on the website and downloadable, because what the fuck. All right, we are at 2.1 thousand. Let's get rolling. Good morning, Trendy Mama. Under the jail? Yes, let's put them all under the jail. That's an excellent option. Oh, you know what? Hang on, I gotta set my gift gallery. We're going for a goal of 1 galaxy this morning. Somebody's feeling generous. And then we will go with let's go with some finger hearts. And y'all hear my allergies? It was like 70 degrees yesterday. And we'll keep the slow motion because I think it's cute. So we can slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. All right, guys. Let's get this day rolling. We have 200 in the chat. Awesome. So I did a couple of searches this morning, and we're just going to kind of run through those first. Let me make sure you guys can see. A couple of announcements first, since we now have about 200 in the chat. We go live every day, sometimes twice a day. I try to go live twice a day as much as I possibly can, doing a real raw review of the Epstein files. What that means is that we do a search and then we just start batch opening everything, taking a look at what it is, and closing it out if it's not pertinent or doesn't provide additional details or newly revealed details. That does mean that sometimes we're going to look at stuff that is a trigger warning that I don't know it's a trigger warning before it's a trigger warning. I have received messages from people. Please know that this is some really heavy stuff. If you need to step away, then step away. It's okay to step away. I come with the receipts. I will always give you where you can find the document that I'm looking at if you'd like to follow along or get your own screenshots. I openly encourage everybody to screen record this live and share information that you think is pertinent so that we can get as much of this as possible out in front of people, because the only way we're going to get anybody to do anything about this is if we raise our voices. They didn't do anything before about this until we started screaming about it. This is something that the people as a whole, no matter what your demographics, no matter what your influences, no matter what your philosophy, I don't give a shit. Democrat, Republican, blue, green, black, purple, orange, he, she, they, them, fae, fairy, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Every single voice needs to be raised over this. Every single voice needs to be screaming for justice for these victims. This has gone on way too fucking long. There have been way too many fucking victims. There is cussing in here. If you missed it, my coffee cup today has the cuss words on it. So there is cussing in here. There are trigger warnings in here, but we try to maintain a safe space. I have some amazing mods. First warning is a mute. Second warning is a boot. Please do gift. We are always raising money for something, so please do gift, because those funds will go to help the community around us. If you would like to support my work, there is a link in my bio at the bottom called square.link. There you can contribute whatever you'd like to help support my work. If not, hey, that's okay. I'm not going to be hurt. If you will smash that like button, if you would like to keep up with these lives, you can always unfollow me later. You will not hurt my feelings if the only reason you're here is for the Epstein files. I understand that people are trying to get as much information as possible, and it's a lot to take in. Please, please, please protect your mental health. All right, let's get rolling, guys. Hey, Ash. All right, so this is going to be EFTA 02518462 in data set 11. Trigger warning for the first part of what we're taking a look at today. It deals, the keyword that let me put it this way. The keyword that I searched was shabortion. Okay, so that's the stuff that we're centering around this morning before we take our morning break and come back this afternoon. We will be 3 parts today for the live because I do have something I have to do a little bit later this morning, and then I'll be back for a couple of hours before my daughter gets home from school. And then of course tonight we always try to go live between 8 and 9 p.m. This is going to be from Jeffrey, sent to Michael Wolf. And basically the reason I'm showing you this one is I want you guys to go look at it. And I'm going to zoom in for a second and let you see. It has a whole bunch of names. It has a whole bunch of names. And it has been opined that he was using his email and emailing this stuff to people and these names, and that these are our lists. These are our lists. They won't come out with a list, but these are our lists. This is how we know. Here's another one where you can see he literally created his own list. He just sent names of everybody that's freaking involved. Take a screenshot and zoom in. Let me get my fat head out of the way. I don't know. There we go. Okay. Take a screenshot. Get those names. Start looking them up. Now we know who's involved. He told us in his own emails. These are probably emails for party people. These are probably emails for people that got invited to the island. We're not angry enough. Look at some of these names. You've got Summers. That's going to be Larry Summers. You've got Eloise. That's going to be Wexler. You've got somebody named Slayton. You've got Peggy. You've got Teal. You've got Elon. You've got Benny. You have all of the freaking people. Again, this is EFTA 00642466 in data set 9. Go get that shit. Blast it out there. If they can't be judged in a court of law, let's do it in the court of public opinion, baby. I'm fired up and ready to go this morning. I'm looking for that, Rachel. I haven't found it yet. But I'm looking for it, and trust, when I find it, it will be on my computer screen for y'all to see. This is EFTA 01869284. It is going to be in data set 10. Now, here's the thing, guys. When you hear me say a word that the old TikTok likes to flag, I have to have you smashing that heart button. I have to have you hitting those go populars, because I gotta outweigh their filters. If the live is popular and it's getting a lot of engagement, they're not gonna take us down for it. And we're getting ready to say one of those words. Let me zoom in so y'all can read along. I guess I should get my fat head out of the way. There we go. It says, talk to my mom. She is horrified and said exactly what we had discussed yesterday with you. She said she and my dad would raise the baby in Moscow until school time, and she would never accept abortion. And if, you know what, we're just going to use the word because it's a real fucking word. She would never accept abortion. Abortion, TikTok, abortion. You want to take us down for something that is basic human care? Go for it, fuckers. Sorry, I'm a little salty this morning, guys. I'm sorry. And if blank wants abortion, he isn't serious about me. They blanked out Jeff's name so that we wouldn't know it was Jeff's kid. Again, that's EFTA 01869284. This one is, ooh, that's too big. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. This is EFTA 01868698. It is going to be in data set 10. It's to Jeffrey from who the fuck knows? March 27, 2011. Sent it 2:11 a.m. Somebody was up late. Blank just sent me message. Quote, he says abortion only, end quote. I called her. She sounds pretty sad. I said she can call me any time of the night and come to me if she needs me. Stupid idiot. Sent from my iPhone. We have another chain of text messages. There's some pretty interesting stuff in here, but you know what? No, we'll go through it now. Let's just go through it now. Fuck it all. Here we go. This is going to be EFTA 00517872 in data set 9. This is from a sender named Martin. Don't know what Martin. Could be Martin Short. Could be Martin Martinelli. Who knows? It was sent to the JEE iTunes, which is his iMessage account. If you want to find all of these text messages, all you got to do is go to the little search bar and type in lowercase I, capital M, message, just like you do with an iPhone. It's going to come up with pages of these text messages back and forth. It says, I'm in Atlanta by mistake. And it says, back tomorrow. And then we have JE sent to himself and somebody who the fuck knows. A Fox News article that says Pennsylvania poll, Biden tops Trump by double digits. Obviously, since this was in 2019, they were watching the election. All right, Sabe, we'll see you when you get back. I saw what's his fuck Comer's interview too, where he said that 6 men would be incriminated. He also said that if they were to expose the names, it would bring whatever down to rubble. Burn it to the ground then. If our government is so infested and infected with these kind of people, it's not a government to be had. They don't seem to be able to read the room. The people don't want to be led by people like that. You're not going to get us to just fucking accept it this time. You're not going to convince us that we have to accept this to maintain our way of life. Fuck you. Pardon my French. Thank you very much. Moving on. He sends that article several times back and forth. Some pictures, probably nasty ass shit. And then Jeffrey sends to somebody and himself. It says, just when you thought you were out of the game, how can they not pull you back in? What the fuck does that mean, Jeff? Are you still walking this earth? Can you answer my questions? I'd love to know. What the fuck does that mean, Jeff? That's repeated a bunch of times. And then it says, it's in chaos and full meltdown now. The internal polling shows worse. Double digits in PA, Michigan, Wisconsin, plus losing Arizona and Texas. 375 electoral college defeat. That would be the Trump-Biden election. This is from 5/16. That was from 5/16 of 2019. Did I tell you guys what yeah, I did. I gave you this stuff. Okay. It says, and then Attica, and that was from Jiffy Boy. And then he sent that Alabama abortion bill will not bring lots of women to your side. I wonder if that fucking shit went to a politician. I'm guessing it did. Somebody in the current regime, maybe? Maybe somebody sitting up in an oval type office? Somebody that looks like he takes a powder puff and dusts himself with Dorito dipshit every day? Looks like somebody was coaching somebody during the elections, maybe. Let's see. It says, though not my skill set, blah, blah, blah. That's Epstein again. Yes, guys, get your heart me's in this morning. Thank you. Let's see. And then he sends de Blasio presidential bid to be announced. And then it says, he sent to himself, he says, isn't it nice knowing this months ago? So are you implying, Jeff, that the regime controls the media, almost like some, I don't know, kind of state-run media, where they decide what we get to know and when we get to know it? Is that what we're seeing here, Jeff? And yeah, guys, when I'm working cases and looking at case files and evidence, this is what I do to myself in my office. This is why I work from home. Because if I do this in an actual office talking to myself, they'll think I'm crazy. Which, I mean, fuck, medicated, come the fuck on. Okay, let's keep going. And then let's see, Jeff asks somebody, how is your voice? And then he says, your girl in Paris. Don't know what that means. Apparently we didn't. Here's the thing. I think that they recovered, because you can tell these are broken up, right? You can tell that sometimes he's responding to stuff that isn't in here. And if you delete an iMessage, it removes it from your chain, but it doesn't remove it from like the other person's phone. It doesn't remove it from your deleted history. I think that they recovered the other text messages, and it was so bad that they didn't put it in here. They didn't crosswalk them and merge them so that it reads like an actual text exchange like they did some of the other ones through like the messaging apps. Because I think that the stuff that we're not seeing, the pictures that they didn't upload and everything, I think that they would probably send society into a tailspin. All right, it says, it's slightly better today. There's some sound. Oh, I don't give a fuck about your voice. It says, how are you doing? How is it? It says, so far quite good. And then that's it. So more election chatter. This is an IME. I'm showing you this so that you can go look at it if you want to. We're going to go through it later. This is an IME for Jane Doe 2. Now, if you're not familiar with what an IME is, it's called an independent medical exam. Oh, I guess you can see it right here. It's called an independent medical exam. And basically what that is lawyers during a case will hire what's known as an expert witness. Y'all have all heard that word. An expert witness gets paid X number of dollars, however much, depending upon how good they are or whatever, X number of dollars to review the whole mess of medical records that the attorney sends the expert. And then they'll do what's called an IME, which is a combination of reviewing the records and possibly even meeting with the person. So like whenever I was doing a lot of like personal injury, motor vehicle accidents, things like that, we would send just the medical records. They wouldn't like examine the person. They would examine the medical records, and then they would give a summation and outline of it. And then if like things were questionable, they would look at like x-rays and stuff. If things were questionable, then they would call the person in to talk to them. So here, this is going to be an IME that is probably both a medical and a psychological. We're going to save that for later because it is 74 pages long. But I wanted to give you guys a chance to see that first page. And if you want to go read it, go read it. It is EFTA 010-76507. And it is in data set 9. And the only caveat I would give to this is if you are going to go and look this up and use it in any content, please be respectful of the fact that this is a very intimate medical examination for a survivor of abuse. Do not use it to say nefarious shit. And if you're going to do that, get the fuck out of my live. We'll move this to the end. All right, this is, let me get you straightened out. There we go. Okay. This is going to be EFTA 00921002. It is in data set 9. It is from who the fuck knows to Jeffrey. Monday, September 26th, 2011. It says, I still haven't seen her. I'll go in every day this week to be sure I catch her. Do you know Martin Seligman personally? I've started reading his stuff since I saw an article in the New York Times last week that mentioned him. I'm in love with him. My latest. I had an abortion and have a new goal to finish school and at some point transfer to University of PA and study with him. Anyway, I hope all is good with you. I will be in touch again with a picture soon. Promise, promise, promise. Sending pictures for cash, probably. Like the shadowy OF, I guess. Yeah, Megan, the copy and paste doesn't work anymore whenever they updated all of this stuff. And I think they took a whole bunch of stuff down specifically for the purposes of re-redacting it. They wised up and fixed all of that. Like you can't do it anymore. Otherwise, I can guarantee you I would be doing that. Hello from down under. All right, this is another of those crisis intakes that I found that was not included in our original search. So we are going to read through this one. It is in data set 9, EFTA 01249722, received on January 23rd of 2020 at 12:10 a.m. Eastern. The name has been redacted and provides the following. Caller blank 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 is reporting, I'm currently working with blank blank about her involvement in the Jeffrey Epstein case. Blank was in the garage looking through things and found something about the FBI asking victims to come forward with information about Ghislaine Maxwell, hereinafter Ghislaine Perrin. Blank alleges that when she was a child, she was molested by the Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein, hereinafter Jeffrey Perrin. Blank alleges this happened between the years of 1991 and 1994. Blank alleges that this happened more than 30 times with Jeffrey and more than 10 times with Ghislaine. Blank alleges this happened at Jeffrey's West Palm Beach, Florida property and at various hotels. Blank alleges Ghislaine was the groomer for Jeffrey, and she was told by Ghislaine they would assist her in becoming a model. Blank alleges the grapes became violent and she had to have an abortion when she was 15 years old. Ghislaine and Jeffrey thought Blank had told her grandparents about everything. Caller alleges that Ghislaine and a driver picked her up from school and told her that they had a modeling contract for her and she needed to come with them. Caller alleges that Jeffrey and Ghislaine threatened to her grandparents. Blank alleges this continued until after she had the abortion. Blank alleges she told grandparents about everything and she needed medical attention after the abortion. Blank alleges, I'm changing it because we say it a lot right now. Thank you so much. Everything she needed after, okay. Blank alleges that her grandparents were afraid Jeffrey and Ghislaine. Blank was sent blank around the 91 to 92 school year. Blank, blank, blank alleges that around late 1992, Ghislaine and Jeffrey blank started calling her grandparents' house and she needed to come back or people would come to the house and her grandparents. This went on until her grandfather put her into hiding. Blank. Blank says she stayed in hiding until 1994. Blank. Blank said that she came into contact with a person named Mike DeLuca, hereinafter Mike Perrin. Blank alleges this person was involved in a gang rape when Blank was 15. Blank believes this Mike was involved in both Jeffrey and Ghislaine. There's another name for your list, Mike DeLuca. Blank, 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 said she didn't know Mike's name when she was gang raped at Jeffrey's property in West Palm Beach. Mike promised he would not discuss where blank was if it blank. Blank, blank, blank alleges that DeLuca told her grandparents that he was going to take blank to blank for a modeling convention and she would be safe, and grandparents asked her if she felt safe to go, but blank was afraid to say no because of the connection with Jeffrey, and she went blank with Mike. Blank, blank, when blank got to blank, Jeffrey and Ghislaine were there. Blank alleges they had dinner and was told she had told too many people about what had been going on. Blank excused herself from the dinner and called blank to come get her. Blank went back to the table. They wanted to leave, but they went back to the hotel and Mike and Jeffrey raped her and Ghislaine helped hold her down by sitting on her face. Blank said when they were done, she was told they were going to an island. They were going to an island and were going to get on a helicopter. You want to know why some of those people aren't in the list for going to the island? Because Ghislaine Maxwell had her helicopter license. And they would fly a helicopter from the Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach area to the island. Undocumented. That's a popular word, isn't it? Undocumented. All right, let's keep going. Blank then told them she had already called home and someone was coming to get her. At this point, Mike took her home. Blank went into hiding. Blank. Blank says this was the last time she had any contact with them. Poor girl. All right. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay. This is going to be EFTA 00768803. It is from a Boris Nikolic. I don't know how that's pronounced. If we have anybody from that region of the world that can tell me phonetically how that's pronounced, I'll get it right next time. This is EFTA 00768803. You will find it in dataset 9. It was sent Monday, November the 16th of 2009, and we'll start, of course, at the bottom as usual so that we can read it in order. It is going to be, it says, from Jeffrey to Boris, it says, I have an updated contract. I'm in the office after 12. And then it's got a phone number if anybody wants the phone number. I mean, he's supposedly not with us anymore, but any of our, white hat extraordinaires that can do something with it. Your phone number, I guess I can move my head so you can see it. Your phone number's right here. They missed it. Failed to redact it. I'm sure you've all gotten your screen grab. Let's move on. And then Boris writes back, had some unexpected complications, needed to be with my friend during her abortion. Parentheses, it is not mine, in parentheses. Why did you feel the need to justify that, sir? It was totally unplanned and consumed the last 24 hours. Please let's talk tomorrow. Should I call the same number? Hope you are well, Boris. You notice that Boris is popping up on a lot of lists and shit. Moving on. This is going to be, let me move my big old head. There we go. This is going to be EFTA 00680664 from a Harry Fish. I don't know, Fisch. I'm enjoying making fun of their names as we read it because, the fuck. No, it was Boris Nikolic, Nikolic. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Thank you, Boogie. Thank you, Tanya. So it starts out from Jeffrey down here. Oh, did I read this out to you? Did I give you the info? Hold on. This is EFTA 00680664, dataset 9, December 1st, 2016. So right after the 2016 elections. Again, from a Harry Fish, or between Harry Fish and Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey writes, what memories! Exclamation point. And then Harry writes back, and trigger warning, because I think that this was somewhat kind of code. I think we know what kind of party they went to. Incredible, and thanks for inviting me. Woody is absolute. That's going to be Woody Allen. Woody is absolutely brilliant, and I hope I can be as sharp as he is at 81. Cavett is also with it. Cavett. The stories are unbelievable. Best line of the night. The woman gave herself a abortion, and Woody said she used a wooden hanger. Come on, that is pure brilliance. Let me read that again because it was choppy. Let me just read it again. Best line of the night, boys! The woman gave herself a abortion, and Woody said she used a wooden hanger. Come on! That is pure brilliance. I looked at your urine test and you do not have blood in the urine. Well, thank God for that. The distich showed occult blood, but under a microscope, no red blood cells were seen. That can occur when you work out and have muscle, myoglobin, whatever, I don't care, in the blood, which is normal. Can also occur if you have muscle trauma. You mean like somebody beating the fuck out of them? I didn't realize who Leon was. Oh, so Leon Black was there too. I thought he was just another old slur. We don't say slurs here. Wow, thanks again for inviting me, Harry. Hey, Harry. I'd like to know who you are. I'd like to just have a little run in with you. I mean, did you quit your job? Because I think you need to quit your job. It sounds like you're a doctor. And if you're a doctor of any kind, I don't think you need to be anywhere near any patients. Especially if you're going to parties with people like Leon Black and Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein. That's practically the fucking hat trick of pedophiles. Guess we know what you like to do whenever you're checking out people's shit. He's a urologist? Did I see somebody put that in the chat? Where? Where is he a urologist at? I think we all need to take a screenshot of this. Let me just trash my little bubble for a second. I think we all need to take a screenshot of this and go leave a review on his New York stuff with this document. You know how you can add an image when you review something? I think we need to go and do that on his Yahoo and Google and all of the other ad services that he pays for. And just leave a little picture review for him. Because if he hasn't quit his job, he fucking needs to. I gotta go make some more coffee, guys. Are y'all impressed with my attitude when I'm caffeinated? I'm gonna leave this up and make my little bubble go away in case anybody else needs to grab it. We have 1,400 people in the chat right now. Can we please get my likes up to 100,000 while I spend 2 minutes making a cup of coffee? I am gonna bring Cherry up to make some announcements. And then I'll drop her back down whenever I get right back. All right, guys. I'll be right back.
Hey guys, so keep tapping the screen, share out the live. Welcome in to everybody who is new here. We are so happy to have you, even given the circumstances. If we can try and knock out that gift goal for Bunny as well, that would be great. I hope everyone is doing well. I know a lot of this is heavy, so always remember to protect your peace, walk away, take deep breaths, etc. We are doing this for a purpose. This needs to get out there. We will not be quiet about it. As I always say, chat, women, if we are not around the table, we are on it. And we are around it screaming about this right now. So we appreciate everybody being in here. Thank you for the support for Bunny and everybody else. W chat, W mods in the chat as well. Our power mods are amazing. And yes, as I always say, if this is heavy for you or if you need somebody to talk to, always feel free to send me a DM as well. I am always here if anybody needs any support. So everybody have a good day. Thank you for being here. And yeah, any questions, put them in the chat and the mods and I will respond to them as much as we can. And let's get some W Bunny in the chat because this is hard and she is doing the hard work. Hashtag here for Bunny's crash outs, guys. So yes, thank you.
I hear you, sir. My goodness. You have been fed.
Keep interacting with the live as well, guys, because it helps keep us on the FYP. If we can hashtag FYP as well, that would be helpful, guys. And just make sure you're interacting with the chat. We love the TikTok shop. There's so many amazing things on the TikTok shop. Yeah, I'll let Bunny know, guys, to see if she can zoom out. Don't worry. W chat, W mods, W community, everybody who was here. We appreciate you guys.
Here, I'll bring up the next one while I'm waiting for my iced coffee to finish
Bunny, honey,
heating up.
could
Yes.
you, yeah, a lot of the chat was asking if you can move it over just a little bit, hun, because some of it was cut off. I don't know if you can, but I'm just repeating
Well,
what I'm seeing.
the problem is I have to zoom in so that I can see.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I'm blind as a bat.
But we'll put the EFTAs anyways in the chat, guys. We always do. So you'll be able
Yeah,
to
I
look
try
at it
to get in
yourself.
close enough. I know you can't really zoom in on lives and stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to get it close enough that y'all can kind of keep up.
No worry, love. What
Is
I'll
that
do is I'll
better?
yeah, that's perfect. I'll put the
Okay.
EFTAs always in the chat as well so people have it to reference if they need, honey.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think my thingy beeped. I'll be right back.
Go ahead, honey. Let's hashtag FYP in the chat, guys. We love the TikTok shop. Has anybody bought anything from the TikTok shop? Never leave the TikTok app, actually. Just camp out here. Everything you could ever need would be on the TikTok shop, guys. Not me pimping myself out for the TikTok shop. Oh, well, guys, we do what we have to do. Thank you so much, guys, for the FYP hashtags. That helps us so much. Just make sure that you were, interacting with the chat, etc. That keeps us on the page. This stuff is important and needs to get out. We appreciate everybody being in here. We are all angry enough.
Listen, the world is not angry enough right now.
No, just us, it seems.
I'm so infuriated at all of it. You guys have got me almost up to 150K, and we've only been live for less than an hour. Y'all are incredible. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for that. Just a friendly reminder that my mods do maintain a safe space. If you are not acting appropriately in my lives, you will get muted the first time. Second time, you get booted. We eject Ojito real quick around here. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down now, Cherry, and bring back up my duel.
You're good, honey.
Okay, so this is going to be another email, and I bring it to your attention. It's from Paul Krasner. Hang on, what's wrong with my mouse? Is it gunky? I use a thumb mouse, and I swear, like, I love the thumb mouse, but the problem is the little bitty balls on the inside that act as ball bearings get nasty so freaking fast because I live in an older house that's kind of dusty. Part of the reason why y'all hear me talk that way. Sound like I'm always fighting for breath. This was between Jeffrey Epstein and Paul Krasner. It's going to be EFTA 02622881. And it is from dataset 11. And Paul Krasner wrote Why I Leaked the Anita Hill Affidavit. It's just a story discussing why he did it. I believe it was published somewhere. And Paul Krasner just forwarded it. He didn't provide any information. But Jeffrey Epstein wrote back, great. So I'm assuming Paul Krasner was probably like either the person who leaked it or was the author who wrote it. So I would encourage you guys to go read that because I don't recall ever seeing that article. If you're interested in the Clarence Thomas stuff and things like that, because I work in the legal industry, I do tend to keep up with what's going on with like our Supreme Courts and all of that stuff and legislation and everything else. Someday I'll get back to that content eventually. But this is obviously far more important. So sometimes whenever I bring these up, I'm bringing them up because I want you to write down the EFTA number and take a look at it. Let's see. Breaking news. Lutnick just admitted under oath to having lunch with Epstein on the island. Daz, what? Okay, so then when can we expect Lutnick to have an arrest warrant issued? Because we all know what lunch was, right? He sure as fuck wasn't eating tuna. Well, I mean, he might have been eating tuna. He sure as fuck was not eating anything that we would eat at lunch on an island. Sushi. Stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I know he stored up his little swimmers. This EFTA number is 02622881, and it's in data set 11. I know, Cherry, I saw that. We're going to be going through that during session 2 and session 3 today. Okay, this. Let me move my head out of the way. There you go. This is going to be EFTA 01886527. It's from dataset 10, and it's to someone from Jeffrey on September the 25th of 2012. It says, Josh, you asked me to share your life with you. I excitedly accepted. I shared my highs and my lows, my dreams, my body, every single part of my body. You came home from work telling me you earned millions of dollars. Then fought, screamed with me over 5,000. You wanted peace and quiet. You demanded I share the peace but withheld the prosperity. You told me how much I cost you, how expensive was. It showed little respect to both of us. But I love you and overlooked it. You asked me to violate a basic conviction of mine and have a abortion. Your mother said it would be in your best interest if I did. You now ask why you shouldn't be ashamed. You now ask why you should be ashamed now that it is the high holy days. It's simple. You behave just like the Goyim, Goyim. My Jewish studies said that at 13 you should become a man. It's not too late. I don't know what that was all about, but it was from Jeffrey to someone. Maybe he was transposing some stuff or something. Anyways, again, that's EFTA 01886527, and we will move on. Why? Is that a bad word? Is that a bad word in like Yiddish? Oh, okay. I won't say that again then. Thank you. I had no idea. I've never seen that word before in my life. This is 19 pages, and this is notes of quotes and statements from deposition transcript. It looks like it's the deposition of somebody. We don't know. And without knowing who it is, I can't go get the rest of the deposition, because you know how we love to read depositions around here. It means cattle, as in like steer, as in like ranches and stuff. Okay. Wow, chat's going crazy. Okay. Hold on a second, guys. There was a whole bunch of stuff that got caught in the filter that has been missed. Let me just get that up. There we go. Okay, let's move on to reading this. This is going to be EFTA 02725090. It's in data set 11. Again, we don't know who the deposition is of. It says, although blank has in her civil case against Epstein to portray herself as an innocent who was damaged by, this is going to be a trigger warning. This is going to be a big fat fucking trigger warning, because they're going to try to do some victim blaming and victim shaming. This is probably from one of his attorneys, I'm guessing. But we'll get into it. That's just my first knee-jerk reaction in seeing that first first paragraph, which says, although blank has sought in her civil case against Epstein to portray herself as an innocent who was damaged by her interactions with Epstein, both her behavior and her own sworn statements during the course of her deposition in her civil case belie her claims. So we're going to take just a moment to do some trigger warning. And if you are going to, if you're gonna struggle with it, you're gonna boil over or anything like that, you can't handle hearing it, I'm gonna give you just a second to step away. Well, I put a little nicotine into my body. I love the TikTok shop too. Let's see if I can. You guys are doing awesome on my gifts. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Oh wait, did we get a restriction? Hold on. Oh no, okay, it was just for 10 minutes. I completely missed it. How do you like that? All right, I think we've had a chance for them to walk away. All right, it says, repeatedly throughout the course of her deposition, blank engaged in the frequent use of profanity. That's a fucking problem? Dude, I drink out of a cup that literally says, back the fuck up, sprinkle tits. Today is not the day. I will shank you with my horn. That's really weird. I got a phone from an area code in West Palm Beach, Florida just now. I don't know who it is. Good stuff. Where were we? Here we go. Let's see. Use of profanity and personal attacks on Epstein's counsel. For example, during her deposition, blank made the following comments. Answer, you're an asshole. Question, you were a... Answer, you're a fucking asshole. I would love to see what he asked her. I'm guessing it was a justified assessment of how he is being. Call him back and put him on speaker. Should I bring up a panel so that they can all yell at him? Next part, he says, answer, you were just fucking sitting here making money. You are just fucking sitting here making money. See Depo transcript 132 at lines 9 and 10. That's what that means is, page 130 at lines 10 and 19. That's how that reads. Question. Okay, you were partying, right? Answer, yeah, like normal people do, like you're going to probably do after this with all your fucking money. See Depo transcript 133, page 133, lines 3 to 5. Question, let's be honest. Answer, okay, let's be honest. Yeah, let's be honest. I agree with her. Let's fucking be honest right now. Question, did you ever send? Answer, yeah, jackass, you're a fucking asshole. See Depo transcript, page 225, lines 19 through 23. I think we're going to have to search that to see if we can find that deposition transcript because I like her style. I've worked, a quarter of a century in the business. I would never answer a deposition like that because I know better. I know the decorum that the court expects. But you know what? For this one, I applaud her. That is the type of energy she needs to take in there, especially with this guy's, because we already saw what his attorney was doing in other depositions, being just an absolute jackass. I'm sure it was an adequate and fair assessment of how he was being. She was mad. What's my background? I have been a certified litigation paralegal for a quarter of a century. I worked mostly in cases that dealt with suing government agencies and entities and things like that. So 42 USC 1985, 1983 cases, Title VI, Title IX, a lot of civil rights work. I also dabbled because I worked mostly like at boutique law firms and things like that. I also dabbled in like personal injury, criminal law, immigration. I had a client up in New York that did the technical appeals for serial shillers, if you know what I'm saying. And I worked on cases like that. I famously did the drafting for the Key v. Morehouse case that involved essay by the faculty on the students for Morehouse down in Georgia. I have over 300 hours of courtroom time. I've represented a lot of people, or I haven't, but my clients have represented, and I've worked on cases for a lot of people in the LGBTQIA. I did some SEC auditing for a while. I've done some corporate law. Like, I've done a little bit of everything. So I've done a lot of stuff in Georgia. Yeah. It won't let you repost. You may have to go out and come back in. I don't have any restrictions. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. You may have to go out and come back in. Yeah. I may have said too many cuss words. I may have said too many cuss words. We're taking just a little bit of a break to catch my breath, and I need my nicotine. I'm sorry, guys. I do. Back to the number that called me. It's probably just a scam call. It could be a bill collector. You know, my kid's been in the hospital 4 times in the last 6 months, so I got a shit ton of medical bills. It's just a fact of life. Where did I get my cup? I got my cup on TikTok Shop. Isn't she cute? It says, back the fuck up, sprinkle tits. Today is not the day. I will shank you with my horn. Thank you, Cuckoo. Kookie. I guess it's Kookie. She's doing better. It's a long road. I have, my little girl has deficits. We got a lot going on. We got some ADHD. We got some ODD. We are currently undergoing testing to find out where she's at on the spectrum. Let's see. Okay, Boogie, I got you. She is pre-diabetic type 1. And she has like sensory issues. She recently had to have a pinky amputated. She just got a lot going on. And we're just hanging in there. Listen, I am the mom of all moms. The school, absolutely. Every time they call me, they preface it with either you're going to be so happy or I'm going to go ahead and give you just a minute to take that big, deep sigh. So I'm the mom. I am hated at the central office for all of the right reasons. I don't play when it comes to my baby. I do all of this for her. Thank you. All right, I guess I'm done. No, I'm sorry, I got 2 more puffs. We love a mama bear, don't we? Every parent should be that, you know, into their kids. Like, you need to advocate for your kids. You are your biggest advocate for your kids. There is nobody that's going to advocate for them harder. I don't give a shit what they say. At the end of the day, you are your kid's biggest cheerleader. You are their strongest warrior. I fight for my kid. I don't play. And I don't really care what they say about me. At the end of the day, you're going to find out. You're going to find out that when it comes to my kid, don't fuck with my kid. Don't fuck with my kid. It's that easy. It's really not a difficult concept. The thing about me is usually whenever I have to fight for something, especially with like the school board and stuff, I always go into the fight trying to get it for all the kids. Because it's going to benefit my kid either way, right? But we need to do it for all the kids. Why are we doing it for one kid and not all the kids? My kid is not alone. There are other kids that have the same issues. Let's do it for all the kids. Right, exactly. That's why I do it, Sonia. Nobody ever had my back. Nobody was ever a voice for me. Nobody ever helped me. I'm never going to let my kids know what that's like. Ever. I will use the last bit of breath in my lungs to fight for my kids. All right, let's get back into it. Now that she's called him an asshole and everything, which I concur. Good job. Accurate. Let's see. In fact, Blank's use of profanity was so egregious and disruptive during her deposition that the court agreed to extend her deposition for 6 hours and ordered her attorney to caution Blank against engaging in such further inappropriate behavior. He can go fuck himself. But the witness should be warned that the court will not tolerate any further vulgarities, any further accusations without merit relative to counsel, any further attacks on counsel, any references to counsel's children, or anything of that nature. Now, keep in mind, every single one of Epstein's attorneys were part of his scheme. They went to the parties. They did the shit with the girls. I cannot begin to tell you what a slap in the face it is for victims to have to be questioned by people who participated in their trauma. What the actual fuck? I will allow the deposition without interruption of the same type that we witnessed by virtue of my reading of this transcript on several occasions now to last another 6 hours total, period. They were torturing her. They were torturing her. That's what this order was. They were fucking torturing her. I want to put on the record that the vulgarities, the attacks on counsel, the attacks of a personal nature that were communicated by Blank were such that if they are repeated, that sanctions will be assessed, and those sanctions could include the striking of the pleadings. In other words, what that means is the judge is saying, if you continue to cuss him out and call him vulgar names and shit like that, then we're going to dismiss your petition and move forward with just any counter petition that they have. In other words, we're not going to hear your case. We're going to deny you justice. That's what that means. Okay? It says, in addition to her vulgar, quote, behavior during her deposition, Blank admitted during the deposition that Blank, quote, started drinking, partying, and having fun when I was around 15, I guess. 14 going on 15, end quote. See Depo transcript 304, lines 19 to 20, page 304, line 19 through 22. She admitted under oath that, quote, I lost my virginity when I was 14 years old, end quote. See Depo transcript 109, 17 to 18. She also admitted that hang on, let me zoom in for you guys. I'm sorry. There we go. She also admitted that she did, quote, any rugs I could get. Nose candy, pills. I have done my rugs, X and Xanny, end quote. See Depo transcript 86, 12 through 15. She testified that she started using rugs, quote, when I was in 7th, 8th, or 9th. Not when I was in 7th. More when I was in 8th and 9th, end quote. Depo transcript page 86, 22 to 24. She admitted, however, that Epstein never provided Blank with any rugs or alcohol. Question, Jeffrey Epstein never gave you any rugs, did he? Answer, no. Question, was he an anti-rug person? He was an anti-rug person, wasn't he? Answer, that's what he said. Well, that's great that he was anti-rugs. He apparently wasn't anti-eating babies. PBS is live now. Epstein's Survivors Lawmakers News Conference. Hold on. You said it was PBS? I don't see them live. The only thing I see them live on right now is the Senate. Oh, here we go.
For key federal civil claims brought by survivors of trafficking.
Hold on, let me plug in my speaker.
It includes a look back window. So survivors who were previously barred, who were told, no, you do not have access to the courtroom. So they have time to now go back and seek justice. And it clarifies that traffickers cannot escape accountability by committing abuses in another jurisdiction. You don't get to escape prosecution by simply putting predators and victims on a plane to a private island or a mansion in Florida or a ranch in New Mexico. Because justice should not depend on a calendar. Justice should not depend on geography, and it should never depend on how powerful your abuser is. To Virginia Giuffre's family, thank you, thank you, thank you for letting us use her name in this law. It's her courage that we are honoring today with Virginia's law. Her courage unlocked the first set of gates that were protecting the rich and powerful. This bill will unlock the doors to the courthouse for the survivors. And to every Epstein co-conspirator and sexual predator, we're coming for you. And to Donald Trump and Pam Bondi, how dare you? How dare you use the Department of Justice, a government agency which by its name is intended to bring justice, to use it to prevent justice, to protect yourself and that predatory circle of abusers. And so I join with the senator and with the leader. Yes, let's pass this bill. Let's prove Epstein wrong. And now I want to recognize, as I was talking to Sky and Amanda Roberts, we talked about how they couldn't have imagined that this day would come. And we talked about how, yes, it's been a long journey. But before Virginia, there was one of those big arroyos or chasms that you see in New Mexico, right? There was no way to cross it. But what Virginia did was build a bridge. And now we are crossing that bridge because of the bravery and the words and the wisdom. And I'm sorry for the loss of Virginia. But she has left something so powerful for all victims. And so I now like to recognize Sky and Amanda Roberts.
That was a tearjerker. I am the crier in my family. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, all right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sky Roberts, and I am the brother of Virginia Roberts Giuffre. I am deeply honored to stand here today alongside some of the most extraordinary people you will ever meet, including World Without Exploitation, Congressman Chuck Schumer, Congresswoman Teresa Ledger Fernandez, survivors of Jeffrey Epstein, and the legendary Sigrid Macaulay. Known to many of us as C. I want to begin with a single word. A word that meant everything to my sister. A word we will not stop fighting for until real justice is served. And that word is change. Virginia's dream was to inspire and empower survivors to come forward. In a world that too often turns away from abuse and pushes it into the shadows, she wanted to bring light. That light is change. Virginia's dream was to inspire and empower survivors to come forward.
It's live.
One of the main missions of her nonprofit, SOAR, was to eliminate the statute of limitations on adult sex trafficking. She talked about it all the time while elevating the voices of survivors, alongside her publicist and dear friend, Deanie Von Muffling. Today, we give Virginia her voice back. We amplify the voices of survivors around the world. Today, we send a clear message to perpetrators everywhere by introducing Virginia's Law. We are introducing Virginia's Law because survivors deserve justice, not expiration dates. Change must mean justice, not someday, not in speeches, not in private
No,
settlements.
he's just got darkness under his
justice
eyes.
in law, justice in court, and justice in the form of consequence. Virginia's law is more than legislation. It is a change in the truest form. It challenges how we see, how we confront, and how we respond to sexual abuse and sex trafficking, not just in theory, but in reality. We do not take this moment lightly. We are holding an overwhelming mix of grief, loss, and pride. And if our voices shake and our tears fall, it is only because of the depth of our love for our sister. Grief without action is another kind of silence, and Virginia did not survive what she survived just to be silenced again. And with that, I'd like to turn that over to my wife, Amanda.
Virginia was a passionate voice, a fierce warrior, and an unwavering
Oh, there is a
advocate
filter.
for
Why is it
survivors
doing that?
everywhere. She named what others were afraid to name. She stood up to wealth, status, and power, and she proved that having money does not guarantee exoneration in the eyes of the poor. Virginia's purpose was always to create lasting change. Her truth and resilience helped spark a monumental shift in how survivors are seen and heard. But she also knew cultural change is not enough. She saw the legal gaps survivors fall through, and she was determined to close them at the legislative level. Her wish was clear: to reform the statute of limitations. When a child, teenager, or adult experiences sexual abuse, it is a profound violation of both the body, mind, and spirit. The mind often protects itself in the only ways it can, through denial, disassociation, and silence. It can take years, even decades, before the walls of trauma begin to crack, and a victim can truly understand what happened. It takes time to unlearn grooming. It takes time to release the shame that never belonged to them in the first place. Statistically, many survivors do not disclose until around the age of 40. Virginia understood this not as a theory, but as a lived experience. Virginia's law does more than honor her legacy. It protects the future of every survivor. It says legislatively and legally, we see you, we believe you, and what happened to you matters. It says you deserve the right to seek justice, no matter the status, wealth, or power of the person who harmed you, and no matter when the abuse occurred. To every member of Congress, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers, we ask you to stand with us, stand with survivors, and say no more. No more silence. No more systems that protect the powerful and deny justice to everyone else. No more laws that treat survivors as though time can erase harm. Pass Virginia's law. Let this be the moment this country chooses accountability over denial, courage over comfort, and justice over obstacles. Page 361, Nobody's Girl. We need to make it easier to punish those who victimize others. Siggy and I want to eliminate laws that limit the period in which survivors can seek justice for their abusers. Virginia put that into writing, and we're here to put that into law.
And with that, Siggy, that's what we're here to do today.
Such courage.
Now everybody knows my nickname. This is really a watershed moment for survivor rights. the announcement of Virginia's law. And as you heard today, the genesis of that law is to get rid of the statute of limitations so that survivors can work on their own timeline. With the passage of this law, no longer can abusers weaponize the clock. Survivors can act when they're ready to act. As you heard, and as Virginia and I both experienced together, many survivors don't come to terms with their abuse until many, many years later. And they deserve the right to be able to bring an action when they're ready. That's what this law does. It is heartbreaking to be here announcing this without her. But I will tell you that her voice is being heard loud and clear. She is saying all Americans, Democrats, Republicans, independents, all Americans need to come together and pass this law. It's the right thing to do. It's the thing we need to do now. So please, pass Virginia's law. Now I'm gonna let Rebecca Zipkin come up from World We. Without this group, we wouldn't be here, so we're all very grateful for that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Zipkin. I'm the Policy Director at World Without Exploitation, and we are the largest national anti-human trafficking and sexual exploitation coalition in the country. And we have had the true privilege of working closely with the survivors who are here today and Sky and Amanda to push forward advocacy to release the Epstein files. And today we are privileged to be here to speak in support of Virginia's law. Thank you so much to Leader Schumer and Congresswoman Leisure Fernandez for their championing of this legislation. Today we're here to support Virginia's law named Virginia Roberts Giuffre, whose courage helped expose one of the most far-reaching sex trafficking networks in modern history. Virginia's story is not just about one man, it's about a system of wealth, power, and protection that allowed abuse to continue for years while survivors were silenced, disbelieved, or legally shut down. Virginia spoke the truth and she paid the price for it. She did so knowing that accountability might never come, not because the abuse didn't happen, but because the law said it was too late. That is why eliminating the statute of limitations for civil claims by adult survivors of sex trafficking is so critical. Trafficking is not a single moment of harm. It is a prolonged, coercive, and deeply traumatizing experience. Survivors often cannot name what happened to them as abuse until years later. They may be threatened, manipulated, financially dependent, or psychologically trapped. Many are children when the abuse begins. Others are groomed into believing they consented when in reality, consent was impossible. The statute of limitations does not account for this reality. Instead, it functions as a legal shield for abusers and the institutions that enabled them. It cuts off accountability before survivors ever had the meaningful chance to come forward. Virginia's law recognizes a simple truth. Healing does not follow a legal deadline. Eliminating the statute of limitations does not guarantee survivors will sue. It simply gives them the choice. It restores agency, and it sends a clear message that time does not erase responsibility. Jeffrey Epstein did not operate alone. He relied on enablers, the men who were the buyers, the exploiters, and the abusers. Many of those individuals and institutions have never been held accountable, not because the facts are unknown, but because the courthouse doors have been closed. When civil claims are barred by time, accountability disappears. Virginia's law changes that. It tells survivors you were not too late, you were harmed, and the law will no longer be used to protect those who harmed you. And it tells the public that justice does not disappear simply because an arbitrary amount of time has passed. Justice is not about convenience, it's about courage. Passing Virginia's law is not about reopening the past, it's about finally confronting it. And we owe survivors, all of the survivors here today, and the thousands around the world, nothing less.
me say to Sky and then. So the Bible tells us when something terrible happens to people, the natural inclination is to curse the darkness, to turn inward, be angry. But the Bible also tells us it's like angelic to light a candle, to create light, to prevent what happened to your loved one from it happening to anyone else. You are lighting a candle, and we thank you. Okay. We'll take questions on this subject. Yes.
Thank you very much. Mark Stone from Sky News in the United Kingdom. Thank you for inviting us here. That was a very powerful news conference. I have a question for you, Mr. Roberts, if that's all right, and also for you, Senator Schumer. Mr. Roberts, the photograph of the then Prince Andrew with his arm around your sister has become, certainly in the UK, a defining part of this scandal. Clearly, he is one person who hasn't answered questions here. What is your message to Andrew Mountbatten today?
I think he should show up in front of our Congress and answer questions. I think that he has a lot of questions he needs to answer, and he has been exploited through these files to have inconsistencies in his own messaging. So I want today to be about Virginia's law, to not allowing this to happen again, but to Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, to be specific. He needs to show up. He needs to show up, and he needs to answer questions in front of our Congress.
Thank you, sir. And Senator Schumer, what was your message to...
He ought to,
sorry,
same thing as what Sky said. He ought to show up and show up now. Yes.
A question for you both and the survivors in general. Do you believe that current officials, including Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, should resign given their proven ties and connections to Epstein?
Yes.
I think we are far behind the UK when it comes to social justice. I think that I think that we are starting to see a form of social justice here, and this is exactly why Virginia's law is so important, because legislatively it says that they can no longer hide, and that's where we're going to focus, the change that we can create.
Yes.
Mr. Leader, I'm wondering when you plan to go down to the Department of Justice to use some of the files and what you plan to look for.
Look, the whole file should be released completely. We got them to agree to let people come down. We have to make an appointment, and a number of my colleagues and I are considering doing that very soon.
What are you going to look for?
What do you mean considering?
Everything.
What do you mean
What's
considering?
not disclosed, period. Yes.
Can you outline how this legislation builds on the bill that President Biden signed a few years ago? Were there shortcomings that this tries to fix? And you also mentioned new avenues for legal action. Can you kick off any of those?
Yeah, the bottom line is we want this to be, our law has no loopholes. We don't want any loopholes in this law.
They'll find
because
some.
the lawyers for those who did such terrible things will exploit them. That's number one. And number two, we're going to pursue every legal avenue we can. Okay. Thank you, Effie. Do you want to?
Yeah.
Last answer for Teresa.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to recognize that we need to provide protections and the avenue to the courtroom for everybody, whether you were a minor or an adult when you were abused. And we do need to go and see those files. I will be going, I believe, tomorrow morning. But the idea that we have to make an appointment and that they're scrutinizing and that they have failed to disclose under the Epstein Transparency Act half of the files. And when they've done so heavily redacted, protecting the predators and exposing their survivors. So we need to call out those actions by the Department of Justice at all times.
We are not going to rest till all the files are released, period. Whatever it means, we have to pursue. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you, everybody.
Let's talk about that for a second. I'm really angry at Congress right now. I made that video yesterday because it's clear that the first people who went in with the sole purpose of looking to see how much Donald Trump is really in there, which he should be held liable. I can't believe that he's leading our country. He should absolutely be held fucking liable. But we can't put him in jail right now. We can't put him in prison until they decide that they're done playing this bullshit game that they're playing with the American people and impeach and remove him. They went in there looking for that gotcha stuff. And Jamie Raskin came out. Jamie Raskin was the one who said that, oh, Trump lied about Epstein being at Mar-a-Lago. He was apparently a guest and he never kicked him out and blah, 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 blah. Why the fuck are you looking at Trump when we already know y'all aren't going to do shit to impeach him? Y'all aren't going to do shit to remove him from office. You're not going to do shit to stop what he's fucking doing to our country. Why are you looking at him? Why aren't you looking at the people that you can actually go and get right now, that you can arrest, charge, try, convict, confine, execute, whatever the fuck you're going to do with them? Why is my hair like this? I'm sorry. I'm frustrated now. I'm frustrated at watching the performativeness of our fucking Congress. I am frustrated at watching too little too fucking late. It's too little too fucking late. It's too little too fucking late. They should have been doing this decades ago. That man should have never been able to do what he did for decades, continuing on after they caught him. It's not right. It's not okay. It's not okay. Why are they not? We already know Les Wexner. Go fucking get him. We already know Lutnick. Go fucking get him. Why the fuck are we allowing Indike to question victims when he was part of it? Go get Woody Allen. Is he still alive? Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. Go fucking get his ass. Go get Bill Clinton. Go get every last motherfucking one of them. Go get Naomi Campbell. You already know where the fuck Diddy is. Go get him. You know, and fucking Ghislaine's gonna get that goddamn pardon. Although she should be careful because we already know Trump is the devil. And when you make a deal with the devil, you know how that works out, right? Right? You already know how that shit works out, right? You make a deal with the devil, you don't get what you're looking for. I guarantee you if he does pardon her, there is a Vegas bettable odds. Check out FanDuel. Check out DraftKings because there's going to be fucking odds available to bet as to whether or not that heifer gets handed over for extradition the moment she gets pardoned. And honestly, that's the only acceptable pardon I'll take. That's the only one. That's the only one. Pardon her ass so that she can take herself over to another country to serve time over there in one of their fucking gulag prisons. Where she never sees the sun. Where the guards, you know, do what they want. Because we know she spent her time doing what the fuck she wanted, right? Right? We're just gonna sit in this for a moment. This law is good, but honestly, it's for civil remedy. In other words, so statute of limitations on civil remedies like this was put into place under the mindset, a judge, I can't remember which one gave the opinion, under the mindset that you shouldn't have to spend your entire life looking over your shoulder worrying about mistakes you made in the past. And I want to say that again so that you can clearly hear it. A judge, a male judge, put statute of limitations because men shouldn't have to, he phrased it as man, meaning all people, but men should not have to spend their lives looking over their shoulder for the mistakes they made in the past. So they implemented the statute of limitations, which means that you can't do shit civilly to somebody after a certain period of time. Like, say, for instance, I wanted to sue Joe for what his followers did to my kids. I only got 2 years. I only get 2 years to sue him for what happened to my daughter, if I want to do that. If I don't file it within 2 years, if I don't file something to preserve that statute within 2 years, then my chance is lost to file against him. People who are abused, these trafficking victims, they get like a year or two. Some of them are 14. If you're underage, you get till your 18th birthday, or I think like a year after your 18th birthday. They haven't even begun to process what they're going through. They're still living as groomed people. So there is no justice for them. I survived abuse by my brother. He did horrible things to me. I was never able to do anything to him because I didn't even unpack it and process it in therapy until I was in my 30s. The only people that knew were the people who grew up with me. So I can never do anything to him. And you know what's wild? Is he now lives in New York and runs a business that works with the Special Olympics. Yeah. Love you, Cherry. We'll see you later. Yeah, send me her book. The world is a sick place, and it's literally meant to protect everybody. It's meant to protect everybody except the victims. That's the way we're structured. So many of us will never have justice. So many of us will never, ever get to see our abusers held accountable. He lives in a $500,000 house with his real estate wife and his kids, running his business that works with children. If only they knew, right? All right, let's get back into this. Oh, shoot. Actually, okay, we're going to break for this morning session. We will be back at 1:30. So we will be back in 2 hours. I've got an errand I got to run. I got to be there at 11:30. I'm now running behind. We will be back at 1:30 to continue. I'm just going to leave this up. We'll continue this review and we'll move into the rest of this stuff that we have up here. And then we'll move into the searches for the unredacted names. If you are not following me, go ahead and smash that follow button. We go live every single day. I try to go live twice a day. Today, we're going to have 3. I try to go live twice a day, but at least once a day. I am live every single night at between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time, to go through the Epstein files doing raw reviews. So if you want to follow me just to catch the Epstein stuff and then you're going to unfollow me later, that's perfectly fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I want as many people as possible to see this information and hear this information because we need to raise our voices. Something needs to be done. I'll see you guys in a little while. Have a good night. Or have